Cine, the Council on International Non-Theatrical Events, has awarded this film a Golden Eagle in token of its excellence and has selected it to represent the United States of America in international motion picture events abroad.
The envelope of gases which surrounds the Earth and is called air has for centuries meant more to man than just elements essential for breathing. Throughout the ages, mankind's dream has been to soar through the skies like birds, over and beyond physical barriers, to rise far above the Earth. His visions of flight carried him beyond the serenity of drifting clouds into uncharted regions yet unknown to earthbound man. Man acquired his wings through years of experimentation, coupled with raw courage and inspired vision. His early attempts at achieving flight were usually awkward, sometimes comic, and at times even tragic. These early experiments in flight, highlighted by the success of Wilbur and Orville Wright, caught the attention of a youthful and enterprising individual whose dedication and ingenuity were to carve for him a niche in the annals of aviation history. This film documents the achievements of Harold F. Pitcairn and his contributions to aviation, accomplishments that resulted in listing the name of Pitcairn among the great pioneers of aviation. Harold Pitcairn's pioneering work in aviation led to the development of the highly respected Pitcairn mail-wing airplane and the creation of the East Coast's major airmail line. In time, this fledgling air service, known as Pitcairn Aviation, would result in the establishment of Eastern Airlines, one of the world's largest airline companies, whose complex and sophisticated aircraft would give aviation's pioneers feelings of great pride. Pitcairn's concern for the safety of pilots and their flying machines was a driving force in his pioneering of the rotary-winged aircraft in America. The achievement of direct control autogyros was the turning point in the development of the helicopter. As a teenager, Harold was excited by the newborn age of powered flight. He designed and built model airplanes. His first was a delta-winged craft that anticipated the design of modern aircraft. In June of 1916, Harold enrolled in the Curtiss Flying School in Newport News, Virginia, where he met Agnew Larson, whose talents in mechanical engineering were to play an important role in Harold's future. Pitcairn later enlisted in the Signal Corps during World War I for military flight training. The Curtiss Jenny airplane was the plane used for flight instruction. During this training period, the armistice was declared, ending Cadet Pitcairn's military service. Harold returned to his home in Bryn Athyn, Pennsylvania, and married his fiancée, Clara Davis. Although he assumed a position in the family business, he kept abreast of the developments in aviation. Pitcairn often combined the two activities when he attended business meetings by renting a Curtiss plane, which was flown by Jim Ray, one of Curtiss's top pilots. Harold continued his flight training by acquiring a Farman sport biplane, which he hangared on the family estate. The excitement of this era of barnstorming and stunt flying and the abundance of surplus World War I airplanes contributed to Pitcairn's determination to focus his attention on the growing aviation industry while continuing his relationship with the family business. Encouraged by Jim Ray and former classmate Agnew Larson, Pitcairn set up an air service on a former cow pasture on the family estate in Bryn Athyn, Pennsylvania, a suburb of Philadelphia. The facility included a large hangar, which also served as a flight school. The Aero Club of Pennsylvania clubhouse was added later. The formal dedication of Pitcairn Field drew a crowd of over 20,000 spectators who witnessed performances of civilian and military aircraft. The more daring spectators wanted to experience the thrill of flying and were willing to pay for sightseeing rides. By 1924, the key to a profitable air service was an increase in the passenger carrying capacity of an aircraft. The task of designing such an airplane was assigned to Agnew Larson, who had become Pitcairn's chief engineer. Within a few months, the first Pitcairn plane, the PA-1 Fleet Wing, was designed and built. It could carry 4 passengers and a pilot. The primary purpose of the PA-1 was for short sightseeing trips, earning it the title of the Hop Ship. The increasing business of sightseeing rides and flight training, plus the questionable reliability of old World War I airplanes, prompted Pitcairn to produce a more efficient airplane, which would help him establish an image of integrity in aircraft design. To help gain recognition, Pitcairn decided to enter one of his planes in the 1926 National Air Races as part of the sesquicentennial celebration in Philadelphia. Displaying a unique ingenuity in aircraft design, the Pitcairn organization, working against time and in secrecy, designed and built the Sesquiwing airplane. This plane could be fitted with 2 different classes of engines, making it possible to have it entered in 2 different events. The engine change was achieved with masterful simplicity by using a specially designed portable rig supporting 2 overhead hoists. After winning the efficiency race with the PA-2 powered by the 90-horsepower Curtiss OX-5 engine, pilot Jim Ray taxied the plane to the waiting mechanics and the engine change rig. The well-rehearsed crew made the engine change to the more powerful 160-horsepower Curtiss C6 engine in less than 30 minutes. The Sesquiwing, reborn, astonished competing pilots and spectators alike by winning both races and defeating Casey Jones, Curtiss's ace pilot. Also in 1926, Pitcairn introduced the PA-3, a newly designed commercial airplane designated the Oro Wing. It was designed around the sturdy Pitcairn fuselage and utilized surplus Curtiss Oriole wings. The PA-3 was powered by the OX-5 engine. Its excellent flight characteristics and economy of operation made it a safe, reliable passenger-carrying aircraft. The PA-3 was considered the Piper Cub of its day. The Oro wing was followed by an all-new sport model designated the PA-4 and named the Fleet Wing 2. It was powered by the popular OX-5 engine. Before the PA-4 was mass-produced, the Post Office Department awarded an airmail contract to Pitcairn Aviation, which extended from New York to Atlanta, and subsequently a second route from Atlanta to Miami, Florida. The route was over mountainous terrain and was noted for its hazardous weather conditions. The situation called for an aircraft that was exceptionally stable and capable of carrying up to 500 pounds of mail at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. To meet this challenge, the Pitcairn organization designed a new plane to service the mail route. In July of 1927, Pitcairn Aviation introduced the first Pitcairn mail wing, designated the PA-5. It was the first in a series of mail wings destined to serve the aviation industry in the United States and Canada. In order to meet the schedule of early morning mail delivery for distribution along the mail route, the mail had to be flown at night. In preparing for night flights, pilots like Gene Brown not only faced the difficulties of flying in the dark with a minimum of flight instruments, but also had to contend with unpredictable weather conditions along the route. In spite of weather conditions, including rain, fog, ice, and snow, the Pitcairn pilots compiled an enviable record of completing better than 90% of their flight schedules. But these adverse weather conditions took their toll on both men and their planes through a series of tragic accidents. However, most Pitcairn pilots were able to walk away from accidents because Harold Pitcairn had made the decision to use square tubing in place of round tubing as main structural members in his aircraft. Because of its exceptional strength, square tubing was built into the design of all Pitcairn airplanes. Many of the important technical features of the PA-5 mail wing planes were incorporated into subsequent models of aircraft, such as the PA-6 with its greater speed and increased payload. The PA-7 proved to be an excellent airplane with which to service the mail route and was also a desirable sport plane. The PA-8 was capable of delivering a 1,000-pound payload at speeds up to 150 miles per hour. The success of the mail wing series of aircraft produced increased sales and required an increase in production facilities, which could not be achieved efficiently at the Brynathan plant. To accommodate this demand for increased production, Pitcairn relocated the factory to a modern facility located on his airfield near Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. In 1929, the decision was made to discontinue the use of the Brynathan field.